it's a bit of a problem for Pakistan because they've got a last minute switch, so to speak. And remember, Hassan Ali didn't have a great match, great
Hmm.
final against Australia last year. In fact, that is one of the reasons why he was kind of cast
Hmm.
out of the team for a while, and then he's come back. He got a lot of support from his players. But I think ultimately this match is about what you mentioned at the outset. It's about handling the pressure. It's an India-Pakistan match,
Hmm.
and I know that every time it comes up, we say the same things. But every time we see this match again, the
Yeah.
pressure seems to keep growing further and further. It produces some outstanding cricket also, so it's not all negative. But it also means that the players have to be on top of their game, both in terms of skills as well as in terms of mental toughness and application and technique and whatever else.
Hmm. What do you think is making these teams stand apart, Ayaz? If you were to pick one thing on both sides, what do you think is each side's strength and each side's weakness?
Well, I think if you had asked me this about 2 weeks back, I would have said the strengths would be the fast bowling departments, but both teams have suffered. Shaheen Afridi is not playing for
Yes,
Pakistan. Jasprit Bumrah is not
yes.
playing for India. I think even Harshal Patel, the T20 specialist, is not there. Mohammad Wasim is not there. So the pace bowling department is a little weak. Where India's strength is far better. I think proven match winners. Yes, that's I would put it in inverted commas. But I think that there's far more experience at the international level in the Indian team, and I think most importantly in the current context, better all-rounders. Hardik Pandya in top form. Uh, Ravindra Jadeja, Dinesh Karthik, if I might use him, include
Yes,
him as an all-rounder. So these are
yes.
going to be strengths for India. The Indian batting lineup looks very formidable, and I think Kiran mentioned at the start that Pakistan's batting, or you mentioned at the start that Pakistan's batting lineup is so heavily dependent on the top three. That said, let me tell you that India's top order
Okay,
has a
yes.
few questions. One is KL Rahul, who's come back after a long
Hmm.
layoff. He didn't look in the best of forms against Zimbabwe, so he needs to really find his feet
Hmm.
and his rhythm going. And then of course there's Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
Everybody wants him in the team, but to start delivering performances which convince everybody, selectors, fans, and whoever else supports him, that he should be in the plane to Australia for the World T20. This is the opportunity. In many ways, this is a dress rehearsal, the Asia Cup, for the teams playing here, for how they will play or how they have to shape up for the World T20. And more than anybody else, this is it's a big challenge for Virat Kohli.
Yeah, I was going to reserve the chat over Virat Kohli for just a little bit later, but you're right. You cannot talk about this match, this Asia Cup, without talking about Virat Kohli. And you very rightly mentioned KL Rahul coming back as well. Interestingly, Rohit Sharma was asked both of these questions today. He was asked about Virat Kohli. So he said that, listen, from where I am looking at Virat Kohli, he looks good. He looks in good touch. He says that it's not like Virat has completely changed. He's the same guy, but because he's coming back after a break, there is a certain amount of freshness to Virat Kohli. And ultimately, of course, Virat will be hungrier than anybody else to prove that he is, the man and the batsman that he is, that we all know him for. Secondly, interestingly, he was also asked about the combinations, Nikhil, that the Indian team has been trying, and one of those is, in the absence, for example, of KL Rahul, the opening combinations. There's just so much to choose from. And Rohit Sharma mentioned that, they all 15 are in the mix. So if I were to ask you what are the, and he said categorically that, we have made a decision, a categorical decision that we are going to try things. We are going to mix it up. We are going to try and fail and succeed. And that's how we'll know what we want to do by the time the World Cup comes by in October. According to you, what are those combinations and what are those changes and what are those trials that have worked for Team India, especially in this format over the last 6 to 8 months?
Shivani, I think in the T20 format, Rohit is also trying that perfect combination in the 11, and of course, keeping in mind the T20 World Cup that's going to be played in Australia. So I think that combination is going to be very, very important. And I think if you're going to be playing in Australia, in the back of his mind, and I know this, and I can say it pretty confidently, that there's a good chance that even Virat might look to open in that combination that they're going to be trying different sort of permutation and combination. But also the thought process in the camp is to have your 5 bowlers, and of course, Hardik can come and roll his arm over. It'll be a blessing, because if you look at the 20 overs format, 120 balls, I think Rohit is coming from a point of view that 120 balls should be shared between 6 batsmen, and you have the 5 bowlers and the 6th option from the other 6 batsmen who can bowl, and that is the Hardik for you as well. And you got a match finisher in Dinesh Karthik, the kind of batting that he's been doing as well. So to me, I think it's pretty much set. I mean, this could be, I'm saying, a blessing that you don't have some of your senior bowlers in the fray playing in the Asia Cup, but it's also an opportunity for some of the others to seal their ticket for the T20 World Cup. So to me, the biggest thing would be you might see Virat Kohli open the innings as well in one of those games to see how it goes. Because at the end of the day, if you look at our top 3, 1, 2 and 3,
You know,
you don't
Rohit
want the
Sharma
top
did
3 to be
mention that
batting at...
we are a team and a system that gives everybody a chance, and we give the chance to people to raise their hands and say, you know, I'm also somebody who can do this. And he said that, you know, over the last few months, several people have done that. And therefore,